Alright, we're back, guys. Got OliverTheGolden with us. Grease and I are still recovering from that final game. How was the voice comms, Oliver?
Our voice, fucking awful. It could not have been worse. We were screaming at each other over the specialty dive that didn't kill a single unit model for.
Oh.
We were just like, holy shit, put this unit here, do this, do that. And after it's all done, we're like, did they kill anything? It's like, no. Why the fuck are we screaming at each other for? This is so retarded. Yeah. So pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. I got you. But it looked.
We haven't really
it looked really good. Yeah.
We haven't scrimmed in like over a week. We've done like 2 scrims against like only warriors, I think, and that's been the extent of our scrimmage. So like to be honest, we kind of just said fuck it, just wing it, and
Well, you winged it amazingly because that first game looked like total control coming out from you guys. So what the hell happened there?
I mean, we kind of had an idea of how to hold this. I didn't think you can win this map on defense, on attack. I thought it was like, this is just done. The only way you win it on attack is you just win the unit trade eventually, and you just run out of units. Like that's really the only thing you can do.
Yep.
I just didn't see a way where you were gonna like the main problem is they have a spawn point right there. It's just it's too easy. If they trade even, they win as long as they trade even. So the defense are just like, just sets up everywhere they might push and then just shoot them. And that was TLDR.
Yeah, pretty much.
Their bans are also interesting. The band, I think they actually lost at bans. Unit bans are insane for them.
You mean with the Ferengian in game 1 and then also the CFOs in game 2?
Yeah, I mean the CFOs won us the game 1 for free, and then not having CFOs lost them the game 2 because they couldn't really hold. CFOs are so busted.
Yeah, especially at the choke points. But at the same time, I mean, ENDGEGNER definitely was winning the game 2 until they pushed out on that left gate, right? I mean, that was...
So we're like, retreat, let's just reset up on supply and let's reset the push. It was like 11-11. They commit and hit us in the back. I'm like, okay, whatever, like, you know, just, it is what it is. Then, for some reason, they chase out of the gate with like 5 people.
Yep.
So then we kill all 5 and just push off them. We're like,
they didn't chase with everyone. They chased only with 5 people. The rest they were retreating, and then they came one after another. I mean, one by one, and you killed them.
Yep.
they lost the game there.
I think it was rough for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, it was rough to see. I mean, you could see that post-bet analysis, and ENDGEGNER definitely had that game pretty much in the bag, I think, and that mistake definitely cost them. They almost were able to delay you guys long enough. We noticed you got called out by the gate closing on you.
That was pretty retarded.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah. But to be honest, I don't know. I think the main thing is they played it very differently than how we expected it to go. I don't want to divulge too much because we're gonna have to play the map. But yeah, I was not expecting a lot of the things they did, and the reason I wasn't expecting them is because I didn't think they were very good. So there's a few things strategically that I just like. The jabs were a very, very interesting thing because I want to see their unit comp. When I saw the jabs, I'm like, how are you not running just full 40 ISG stalwarts or whatever? Like, how do you have space for T4? Like, the T4s are so cramped. So are those jabs in replacement of like a VG or something? Like, what are you putting in place of that, if you know what I mean? Like, it's very interesting.
It is. It definitely was very interesting. And oh man, yeah, this crazy series, I think. Were you guys confident going like right before that left push of still winning the game, actually pulling it out?
Yeah, we actually thought we were gonna win. And I wasn't gonna divulge like what we were gonna do, but we had a plan. Like, I did not think that push was gonna be the winning push. As I said, I don't think units. It all comes down to units. So like, and then at the end, I thought it was gonna be like a 4-minute deathmatch. And it's like, can we just 1v1 them? Like, we're just gonna have a DM, and everyone's gonna have nothing. And that was pretty much the goal. And try to get that fight. But I mean, thankfully they made an unfortunate mistake, but I mean, it helped us a lot.
Yeah, definitely did. Yeah, definitely did. All right, great to see you. And so both third-placed teams actually advancing to the semifinals now. So ENDGEGNER was second in their group, Love and Devotion second in their group as well. That doesn't say anything. That shows. You guys will be playing Ali Merby next week.
Yes.
And Gun Faction will be playing Palio Old School next week.
Yes.
How do you feel about your chances over there?
It depends if we have a 15-man roster or we disband next week. That's the big question, right?
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Like 2 hours ago, well, like 3, we were like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't know if half the team's gonna make it. We might just have 12 fighting 15 today. This is pretty much what we're gonna do. So, I don't know what roster we're gonna bring. To be honest, most people are kind of burned out of the game, like myself included. Like I have not played CB in like 2 weeks. And, like most of us haven't played CB. That was my first game in. I haven't even logged in. I haven't played TW. I haven't done anything.
Well, you should keep going. You're undefeated, man.
Nah. This is probably not a good long-term strategy.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good long-term strategy here.
No, not at all. But yeah, so we don't know. I have no idea how good we're gonna do, considering we're not scrimming and we're not really doing a lot anymore. We'll just see what happens.
Yeah, well, it worked really well for you today, so we'll see what happens next weekend. Keep us posted what's going on as well. Thank you, Oliver, for joining us. Any last words?
Nah, GG's. Oh.
All right, see you later, man. Thanks.
Adios.
All right.
Are we gonna have a ENDGEGNER?
Yeah, well, let's see if we can get them. I haven't had a response from team captain yet, so I'm not sure if we'll get them. I'll go show you guys the. Let's see. I'm gonna show you guys the next week's matchups because we already can get them on the screen, so why not? Let's see. Am I still sharing my screen, by the way? I think so, right? No, alright. There you go. Alright, so next week is going to be these ones. So, Chocolate Goblin advancing, they were playing Ali Mermi, and then Pally Old School advancing, they were playing Gum Faction. Another best.
Sharing the Discord now.
Oh, still sharing the Discord? Alright, hang on. Was supposed to be screen 1. There you go. That's better.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Alright, so these will be the matchups for next week. Might be too soon to do a prediction, but what do you think?
Okay, I will say Aliana Mermi.
Yeah.
And Paella if they play like they did.
If they play like today against you, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see. I mean, Gun Faction have had plenty of time, of course, to prep. Same for Ali Mermi.
Gun Faction has a very good team now.
Yeah, absolutely they do. Yeah, they've been very active with picking up some of the other Rustic players as well of this kind of team. So we'll see. They are a very active team, that's for sure. It's going to be good. All right. I don't think. Let me double check. Oh yeah. We're gonna get Khaimera in here as well. So we'll do one more interview and then we can close it off. I'm gonna show you guys the Hall of Fame rewards for the Field Division that will be it basically. Alright, so just waiting a little bit for
Do we gonna have new teams next season?
Yeah, definitely. There's already another team that registered actually. That's a good one actually. Anyone who wants to join CB Rivals for next season, you can go to the Discord, go to team registration, make sure to read the rules of course, and then you can already start registering your team for next season. It's not definitive when it will begin, but if you got a team ready and you want to play it, just drop it in there. You can always like change it later, or like it's not conclusive if you join it right now. It just shows it puts you higher on the list if you join right now, basically. So that'll be fun. But yeah, so any team can register already. Let's see, where is Khaimera? It was 2 minutes ago. Yeah, good question there. Let's see if there was anything in chat as well. Nope.
Guys, the biggest throw of the season.
Yeah, probably is. I mean, I gotta think back really well, but I think it may be. It's also, yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to see it coming from ENDGEGNER as well. I mean, they are one of the teams I think we know so well how you can lose a tournament game by being too aggressive as well. So yeah, very surprising to see that happen. Very surprising.
Yo, hello.
Yo Khaimera, welcome.
Hey.
Oh man, that was rough. How are you doing?
It's was pretty much expected from our side.
Yeah, it was.
Like to put it bluntly, like the issue with the team was basically we had like a lot of people during the season just kind of lost motivation, right? Then we had like less and less people available during the weeks, so we couldn't even scrim. Like the last 2 weeks, we didn't get any scrim.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then you have to play this map, and the end point is just it's rough, to be honest. Like it's defender heavy. It's better for defense, to be honest. But if you didn't like get enough practice in the match, it's hard for people to rotate correctly because you're on the tower and then you need to go down. It's such a long way to move your slow units down, and like and people just the overall like how do you say, like team climate wasn't there anymore at the end. Like too many people a bit frustrated, like some a bit slacking, and like others show up, the others down, and then you have like this stuff that happens where some people push out and the others don't really follow up, and then the people that push out still keep going, and then they keep going too much. You tell them to come back, then it's too late, and then
it's too late.
then it just steamrolls from there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just what can happen at some point. We also heard from Oliver how they've also been struggling a little bit with the team, getting the boys back together. But it's been really cool to see ENDGEGNER, you and Susno back into the tournament scene. So just maybe talking generally about the season. How do you look back at the restart of ENDGEGNER?
I mean, at the start it was pretty fine, especially like when the people were actually like when they were actually still there. Like we could do like 2 scrims a week or something for each map. It was kind of fun. Everybody had fun, but over time it kind of fell off a bit, and I don't know. Like some people got a bit frustrated, I guess, because it didn't go their way. Like we won the matches, but some people did some mistakes, and then it was like,
it's not good
how
enough.
it is usually. And then if it happens that people start playing less and less with each other, it gets worse over time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then it just builds up, and then like some people are frustrated with some others, and then some guy makes like a stupid mistake, which isn't actually that bad, but it just like rides people up, and just makes the climate kind of rough in the team.
Yeah, and then it may be very hard to come back from that once the climate has changed, like you said. Yeah.
Also, especially like, I mean, today we literally, like we were 14, like we were 15 people that could attend, and one guy had to decline, and then another could just switch in the last minute. So it was like even close that we get 15 together today. It was kind of rough.
Yeah. That's always rough. That's always a struggle sometimes especially at the end of the season. It's been a really long season as well, I think, right? I mean, also with the break, of course, suddenly the week has changed and all that, so it's definitely been tricky
also
there.
Like this season it was like it's kind of rough now with all the heavy unit changes, like Reapers being like freaking broken right now on the flail after they were completely worthless before.
Yeah, true.
Fjord the Braccio doing like God's work now if you praise them, and Liao's is still killing everything. Like what the fuck's going on this season? Like,
it's been huge changes. Both units, maps have been changed all the time as well. It's insane.
There's a lot of good
up.
units now. I don't know what to
I mean,
play.
I like the new meta way better than before. It's just that like the changes in between were like kind of right now Liao's are completely busted, okay, but then we don't play them. But it's like then they change other units, and it's like it just keeps on going.
Yeah, exactly right.
It was kind of rough this season, honestly. Like at the start it was chill, but then Liao's change came, everything went calf, and then
the
actually
meta
everybody
changed so many times.
Yeah.
The fun story is the Liao's weren't even necessary. That's the fun part about the calf meta. Like Liao's got banned, but you could still just play double calf in Kurak, for example.
Yeah, they got effects.
It didn't matter.
They were all so strong.
Yeah, without the Fjord change, it was literally impossible to defend 15 calves if you rotate in all the corners and just come from 5 sides and collapse on people. It's just It's
Absolutely
hard.
true. I mean, you could see that the last week, round 7 Field Division Surf Slayer game, they absolutely played with their foot, playing only Kev on Kurak Castle. That match was
Yeah.
absolutely insane. That was a great example of what you're saying right now. Going back to your team, Khaimera, or the match actually, how did you feel about playing Tour of Varus as a map strategically?
It's kind of rough without RD as defender because, like, I mean, you want to defend something up front, but that's a bit like C supply is already like that's a stretch, which we is semi won. But A supply, I mean, nobody's gonna fight into you if you stand there completely. B
Yeah.
is like B is a bit rough as well. It's like the Turo map in total, it ends up being like an endpoint defense
Eventually
in
it is.
most cases. Like, I mean, you saw most teams or the other teams basically defending only endpoint. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. But
says it all.
yeah, but this was all the reason I were talking about it. And Oliver also mentioned that the endpoint actually becomes kind of a grind about who is able to slowly grind out and kill more units.
Yeah.
But we could see with your fight inside the city that you were actually at one point able to win that supply point at the C point quite convincingly, I think, by flanking really well with the Cav and actually baiting them a little bit there. But then some units maybe got called out because you weren't able to get back.
The issue was actually that we didn't get to finish it off completely and didn't get to clean the heroes.
Yep.
And the issue was then that they got to A supply too soon, right?
Yep, exactly.
And once they spawn outside the gate directly, and then your retreat is like you spawn on the base camp, like totally in the back.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
too far.
I walked with my Reapers, they got to C, I got to A supply, and then it's like, yeah, well, rip.
Yeah, what are you gonna do there? Just yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you can defend one time front, and then you basically need to go endpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the bad spawn.
Yeah.
Like if you hold A, maybe you can hold a bit longer, but holding A is
it's going to be hard,
it's
right?
kind of a coin toss.
Yeah.
Because it just goes like full beefy units against full beefy units, like VGs and Reapers.
Yeah, exactly.
And like there's not much room for flanking or anything, so.
Yep, yeah, that's true as well. And also, I mean, if you try to defend A point, then they can also just go into the city, try and capture B and C, right? And you get
they can go through the gate and just like fake gate and fake breach, fake tower, fake gate, breach.
Exactly.
They can just run everywhere. They have the shorter way for all the 3 points.
Yep, it was just too much going on there.
As defender.
Absolutely. Yeah, interesting to see though. At the same time, we could see many of defense fight, but also the attack as one as well. Both matches being 2-0, so it's been a good couple of series. Looking to the matches next week, I'm going to ask you the same that I just did Reese before we send you off. Alina Mary versus Chocolate Goblin and Gun Faction versus Belly Old School. Do you have a favorite in both of those matches?
The first match, I would say Gum Faction. Probably should take the win.
All right.
And the second match, what was it again? Palila versus?
Alina Mary versus Chocolate Goblin.
Oh, Chocolate Goblins.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Alina Mary is the one that placed first.
Yeah. It's a rough one. I would honestly give it to Chocolate Goblins, to be honest.
All right. Well, let's see. They weren't that confident themselves, but I hope they do really well next week and we get some close matches.
Like if they play it semi-clean, like, I mean, the hard part is it might end up, honestly, it's probably going to be a tie, if I'm honest. In the future matches, because now people saw also the map a bit more. Saw a few more plays, so it's going to probably end up being more ties next time, because defenses on endpoint, if you set them up properly with like just the right amount of ranged units,
and then
that you can poke a bit,
but
not too much, and then just set it up with some calf flanking in time. Not too late like it was for us.
Exactly. Or push out too far, but yeah, we'll talk about that later maybe. Yeah, sounds good. Who knows? I'm very curious to see it. And also, of course, one more week with the meta. Hopefully it doesn't change again. We never know, but we'll see.
Yeah. I don't think they will change much more now.
No,
I think they got the game in line, I think.
Yeah.
Like Reapers being good against everything that's shield. Shield main is good single target. VG is good against really big fights.
Yeah.
Then you have still Cav has value, even though fortes are strong, because you can send infantry in the fort, and once the fort is a bit distracted, the cav just still runs over them. So it's kind of in a good state now.
Yeah, it kind of feels like rock paper scissors basically, right?
Yeah.
Something can beat something. Yeah.
Yeah. And like not like before, where you just like bring 15 calves and you can't stop it. That's
yeah, that wasn't fun.
Or don't play any calf because it is useless. Like that's also kind of stupid. So it's in a good place now. I think would have been great if it would have been that before the season started. But I mean,
it's a process. It's a process, as they say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Any closing words before we send you off?
Yeah, it was fun to play the tournament. Nevertheless, right? Also, the guys had fun. Most of them, at least.
Great.
So yeah, was a good tournament for sure.
Yeah, it was a great run from you guys as well. So thank you so much for playing the tournament this season. Hope to see you back in the next one or with some other team or with ENDGEGNER once again. We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see if we can make it happen.
Perfect. All right. Have fun.
Yeah. See ya.